In the previous tutorial, we created an asset model through tag templates. As a sidebar, let's take a look at the expanded asset modeling abilities of FactoryStudio version 9.2. FactoryStudio has the ability to ingest asset trees from several providers, such as Canary Historian, OPC UA, and MQTT SparkPlug-B. Providers are advanced connectors that are able to provide data to FactoryStudio without ever having to create a single tag. Let's take a look at Canary Historian, which in version 9.2 of FactoryStudio is highly integrated into the product. FactoryStudio now comes with a free 500-point Canary Historian, which can be used in place of FactoryStudio Historian. To create a new Canary Historian provider, select Create New. For the protocol, let's select Canary Historian, and now we have a few options. We could set Canary Historian as the default historian for FactoryStudio. Once we decide on which options to select, we'll hit OK. Now we simply configure the primary station. And in this case, my Canary Historian is on the local host. For the view, I would select the computer name, and for data sets, I could select one of the asset trees within Canary Historian, or we can leave it blank to allow us to look at all the asset trees within Canary Historian. Test connection, we can see we're successful, and now the Canary Historian provider has been set up within FactoryStudio. On the Asset tab, we can go ahead and insert a new level into the asset tree. For this level, we'll just call it Canary. Once we have the level set up, we can insert asset from that provider. We can now see Canary Historian and its complete asset structure, including diagnostics and brewery as individual asset trees, which in Canary are also called virtual views. Let's select the brewery asset model from Canary and bring it into FactoryStudio. Now, by selecting the brewery asset model, we can see all of the components of the tree, including the individual brewery lines, tanks, and their associated tags. Now let's create two more tag providers. The first one will be a very popular MQTT broker named Mosquito. For provider name, I will type in Mosquito and click OK. For the primary station, I know that this particular MQTT broker is located at 192.168.111.194. For the second MQTT broker, I'm going to create one called EMQX, which is another popular MQTT broker and holds live data from my home system. This particular MQTT server is located at 192.168.111.165. Now that we have our two MQTT brokers brought into the system as tag providers, we can introduce them into the asset tree. So let's create a new level called MQTT. We will use the MQTT namespace to bring in the asset models from our two new MQTT tag providers. Let's first insert the asset tree and data from my EMQX broker. This broker contains live data from a power panel. To insert the asset model of my home, I will select Home and click OK. Now let's get the Mosquito broker's asset model into FactoryStudio. For the Mosquito broker, we will select the device ID and bring that portion of the asset tree into the system. Now that our asset trees have been inserted, let's take a look at the models and the data. From our EMQX asset model, we can see the garage, the panel, and the line 1 main wattage, which is currently at 905 watts. From our Mosquito asset model, we can see that our temperature is 29 degrees Celsius. By ingesting asset models from outside applications, FactoryStudio can easily become a warehouse or unified namespace.